claim to be an angel, and I've openly admitted to everything that I've ever done.
The people that knew him would have thought that the Pope would be more capable of committing a crime.
I wanted to hang his ass. I wanted to rip his eyeballs out, tear his head off. That's what I wanted to do.
I just can't picture that his sexual appetite got so much out of control.
He was not only one of the craziest, but one of the scariest human beings because he functioned in normal society.
He is the most notorious serial murderer ever. No one can hold a candle to John Gacy.
A family man, a likable guy, a kid's entertainer, young men all victims. How could someone who appeared so normal commit these sick and twisted crimes?
Gacy was born in Chicago in 1942. He was very involved and was a member of several clubs like Boy Scouts. He was a quiet boy, though, and was not very popular among his peers. On the other hand, his neighbors and teachers loved him. They thought he was a great kid with a bright future. This bright future was overshadowed because of his alcoholic and abusive father. Gacy was never really able to recover from the traumatic childhood and therefore never got a chance to accomplish his dream. He ended up dropping out of his senior year of high school and moving to Las Vegas to try and start a new life. His attempt was unsuccessful, and Gacy returned to Chicago after suffering from depression. Eventually, Gacy graduated from college and became a shoe salesman. He married one of his co-workers, Marilyn Myers, who he had 2 kids with. Myers and Gacy moved to Iowa, where Myers' parents owned several Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants. Just when everything seemed to be going right for Gacy, he was indicted for committing an act of sodomy with a teenage boy. The charges were dropped after Gacy convinced the court the boy openly had sex with him for money, but new charges were brought up when Gacy hired an 18-year-old to beat up this boy. Gacy was sentenced to 10 years, but was paroled after only 18 months. Myers divorced Gacy while he was in jail and gained custody of their kid. He was again back in trouble with the law not long after this for picking up a teenage boy to perform sexual acts on him. The charges were dropped, though, because the accuser never showed up in court. Gacy then married Carol Hoff, a widowed mother of 2 daughters. They had a good life, and they often threw parties in which Gacy would entertain by dressing up as a clown. Hoff and Gacy split up, though, after Hoff became concerned with Gacy's wellness. She found magazines with naked boys on them, and Gacy even openly admitted to preferring boys over women. Soon after this, Gacy formed a construction company and hired mostly teenage boys to help him run it. Strangely, many teenage boys started disappearing from the town. Investigators immediately went to the house of Gacy, who claimed to have no knowledge of the topic. Something about Gacy did not sit right with the police. They were shocked to find out about his history with boys, and got a warrant to search his house. Inside, they found many disturbing items, including boys' clothing items and child pornography. Other than this, though, the house appeared to be relatively normal. They brought him down to the station once again for questioning, but he again denied having any relations with the disappearances. Lab technicians were luckily able to make a breakthrough in the case when they found DNA from some of the missing boys on the items found in Gacy's home. Investigators approached Gacy with their new discoveries, and he confessed to killing one boy in self-defense. He claimed that the boy was buried under his garage. Police marked off this area, but also started to dig in the suspicious crawl space, which gave a horrible odor. With 2 minutes of digging, a corpse was found. In total, 33 corpses were found, some of these even coming from the Des Plaines River. Most of these bodies were naked, with the victims' underwear or socks shoved down their throat. Gacy's trial occurred in 1980. The defense tried to take the insanity plea, but Gacy was inevitably found guilty. He was sentenced to the death penalty and was executed in 1994. Why did he commit these horrible atrocities? Most people believe it was because of the abuse he took as a child. Gacy was negatively altered from this, which affected the rest of his life. Regardless of whether this was the causation or not, Gacy was not a sane person. Something inside of him was not right, which became evident over time. Even though Gacy was executed, nobody will ever forget the horrible person he truly was and the horrendous crimes that took place at 8213 West Summerdale.